here we are, and we are going to try and push through and get all of our patina work done using the Funky Cold Patina iron and the green activator spray. I'm also going to be using a tiny little paintbrush, no biggie, just like a little artist brush, and this little guy. This is like a Brillo pad or something. It just happens to be white. And I'm going to use the sides of it, which is textured. Can you see this? Yes. And this is how I'm going to get kind of the stippled sort of effect, hopefully. A little bit rougher of a texture for the rest. So, let's get started and see what we can do. I will always say, be flexible with this stuff. The moment you try to make it do whatever you want it to do, it's going to flex up on you and you're going to have a hard time. So, I really recommend just kind of having fun and being willing to enjoy whatever comes of it. So, we've got our iron. Make sure you shake it really well, right? I'm going to take the hair tie off of my arm before somebody fusses at me. And I'm actually going to put this in a plate. See? So that I can kind of dip into it. Now, the first layer that we did, you can see where the rust has already happened on these guys. I did those separately. You see those in pictures. This is some of the iron, the gray, you can see, is the iron that's already been laid down. It's been drying for a few hours now. I know that I'm not going to have any problems. I really just wanted to go ahead and lay some sort of little base down. And now it's time to do the iron as well as the activator spray. So, I've got my plate. I've got my plate, and I've got my artist brush. I don't want a huge brush, I just want a little brush. And I'm going to go ahead and begin to kind of lay this stuff in here. Now, this is the coat that we're going to be activating, so I don't want to oversaturate it. I want it to be kind of thin. I'm going to run a little bit down here below the hardware. And then cross my fingers. I've got my activator spray. And I'm going to go ahead. I have already shaken it, so I know it's well mixed. Oh. And there you can see where it has kind of begun to activate with the rest on the inside of the bottle, or the iron, the metal parts. And I'm going to have to wipe that away. I'm not terribly worried about it because I am looking for a rusty effect. Of course, I couldn't find a small towel. I'm just going to dab. Here, I want it to be a little bit cleaner than down there. I want it to be as if this is the rust and it's been kind of coming down over time. Some of the activator spray actually got in here, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to let that kind of settle in there and do whatever it's going to do. It may kind of antique some of the coloring in that paint. I'm fine with that. Flexible, right? And then now, while that's on there, I'm going to go ahead and dab the edge of my sponge in here. And I'm kind of just going to stipple along and mess with what I have here. It can be a little bit messy, that's fine. And what this is going to do is kind of mimic the little tiny flecks of paint that you will see kind of coming away and beginning to rust and pull from the surface. Okay, and now we just kind of got to let that go. Bring it over here just a little bit. And to show us the difference, I'm going to do the other side a tad bit differently. I'm actually going to stipple first. I feel like this is always a science experiment. You don't exactly know. So I'm going to stipple. And now I'm going to use the paintbrush and fill in the other areas. So here. And again, we don't want it to be perfect. I don't want it globby. You do want it thin. But I just don't want a perfect line or coat on there. I think I'm actually going to kind of bring this down over here some. So while this is wet, I'm going to grab my little, it's not really a sponge, scrubby pad. And I'm going to bring it over here. How harsh that is. You see my puppy dog? I think she needs to go. I don't know if this stuff should be right. Oh. Hi, Trinity. Okay. And working quickly, I'm going to do the same at the top. I'm putting it on a little bit thin, but I'm going to use the scrubby pad to work it around. And see, using this pad gives it that really kind of flaky look, so it doesn't look completely formed. It's almost like it's just beginning, like the beginnings of the rust. And there. And now it's time to spray. Let's see if this goes a little bit better. That was a little bit better. Sometimes there's just not enough air in the bottle. I have one of the very first bottles, if not the first, I might have been the first order. So, my bottle has seen some days. Alright. And once again, I am going to dab a little bit down here. I don't want those huge drip marks, because those obviously aren't from the rust. I don't mind if it begins to run down. That's cool. That's more than welcome because that would have happened over time. As you can see over here, it's beginning to transform. Now to watch it as it happens.